Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader. And before we begin, we need to go through the obligatory risk disclosure. So we'll go ahead and start with that. So just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information is to be used at your own risk, and the company as partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. An investor could lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or Forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, Anthawil. Hopefully I'm coming across a little bit better, guys. My mic, I noticed that I was using the wrong mic. Hopefully I'm coming across a little bit stronger today. All right. So let's go ahead now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure. We're going to go ahead and open up the news portal here in a moment. All right. So let's see here. Okay, hopefully you guys can see my the news portal here, Financial Juice. So we're going to go ahead and run through what news we have today that could potentially impact the markets. So we have Case Stiller 20 year over year coming in today at is that 9 a.m. We have consumer confidence coming in also at 10 a.m. That could impact the markets. And then we have some 2-year note yields reporting at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then we have a number of Fed members speaking, Hammack, Powell, Collins, and Barr throughout the day here. Okay, so I would say that probably the big ticket item that we have here is the U.S. Consumer confidence. And then we have some bigger reports down the line here with home sales tomorrow, EIA inventories tomorrow, and then we have on Thursday we have the jobless claims, GDP, durable goods, and then again Friday. Actually, Friday the consumer spending, core PCE, price index, among others. So, in comparison, today is relatively light in the way of news, but I would expect that maybe there's a possibility of this U.S. consumer confidence report potentially impacting the markets. Okay. So now that we've gotten through the news portal here, we'll turn our attention to the markets. And as you know, we start off with the gold market here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and share our platform here. Okay, there we are. We're going to move over to the full mini contract. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart here. Okay. And, kind of get a sense for what the market is trying to accomplish. Well, if we look at what the market has been trying to accomplish of late, you can see that the market has been trying to move lower, right? You can see that we made lower lows and lower highs. Okay. Now, if you look in the greater context here, okay, you can see that we've been in some sort of consolidation range since late April. Okay. So while we've been in this bearish kind of trend of late, we're in a larger consolidation range. Okay, in this market. Okay, and we're coming into some areas now. Okay, that have been supportive in the past. So again, I'm going to go ahead and mark these as some areas, right? So you see that this area right here has shown to be supportive. Okay, we left this area, came back, and price continued to the upside. Okay, now we're back at this area, and not at least currently not showing any signs that we intend to reverse from this area, but we are in this area here around 33.30. Okay, 33.30, possibly as low as 32.75. I would say is a area of demand. Okay, you can also see here that it is a low volume node. Okay, not a lot of transactions have taken place in this area, which will again serve as some level of support. Okay, so moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, looking at the 4-hour chart here, we're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment, and you can see that we continue, okay, to make as we opened with the daily chart, lower lows and lower highs. Now again, we've come into this area, right, that could be supportive, and we started to get a little bit of a reaction away from this area, okay, indicating that we may have found some buyers in this area. Okay, continuing to look to the left, we see a couple of areas here, right? So we have the 33.30 level, and then we have maybe another level here at around 3,300. Okay, so kind of a demand within a demand. Okay, so we have 33.30 being the first area. Okay, of potential demand, and then you can see here that we've also responded away from 3,300. Okay, so the question becomes are we going to reverse from this area? Okay, we're starting to see some signs of that right now, or are we going to continue to explore through the edge here down as low as 3280? Okay, so we'll have to wait and see over the course of today's session and maybe into tomorrow to see how price continues to play out here over the next few sessions. Moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay, so this is where we kind of begin to do some volume analysis here. So again, we've reached the ASR low here and starting to get a little bit of reaction, but you can again see that price remains below our VWAP. Okay, indicating that that we are indeed inside some sort of bearish structure in this market. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and open up our fixed range volume profile. I think I know the answer to this question, but we will confirm it nonetheless. We're going to go ahead and drag the start of yesterday's session with today, or the close of yesterday, and you can see that price remains below value. Okay, below value from yesterday. We have a number of overnight shorts in this market right now. Okay, so a number of people holding short positions in this market has and now has kind of arrived at an area of support or demand. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up our initial balance. Let's adjust our initial balance, not for Asia, because you can see that Asia session, we did break our initial balance to the downside. Okay, it took a bit. It took a bit before they decided which direction they wanted to take the market, but they ultimately decided to take the market lower. Okay, so again, a lot of overnight shorts. We see that prices below yesterday's session, below Asia's session, and now we are in an area where we've potentially have exhausted to the downside. Okay, based on London, and maybe arrived at an area where we can at least maybe make our way back up to let's say VWAP. Okay, you can see that price does not stay too long away from VWAP. Okay, before price wants to return to its location. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and open up our anchored VWAP here for the start of London. So start of London was down in this area here. Okay, so you can see that price is below our daily VWAP, below our anchor VWAP for London, and we are currently reached the ASR low of a London session. Okay. So the question remains now is we'll go ahead and open up. We'll change this initial balance now to reflect the current session. Okay, instead of Asia, we'll move it over to the current day session. Okay, and you can see that we're first candle into our initial balance range. We'll need one additional candle here in order to arrive at the initial balance range. And again, the question is going to become is, are we going to continue to the downside, or is this candle going to be an indication that maybe we rally from this location? I would say at least up to VWAP. Okay, at least up to VWAP if we do decide to rally. If not, then we continue our exploration further lower. Okay, into areas where we've seen in the past that there are buyers. Okay. We have evidence here on the left that there are buyers in this area here. Okay. All right. So headed into the session. Okay. I understand that I am in some sort of bearish price structure. Okay. The question now becomes in order to continue to align myself with this direction, I find it difficult to sell into potential strength. Okay. Or basically pay retail for a short into a demand zone. Okay. So I'm going to be patient and I'm going to be waiting for an opportunity, maybe up at VWAP, maybe up at the high end of the end of this or low end of value area low here, for an area where I can reasonably participate in the market. Okay. To the downside. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the value area low from the visible range here on the right. Okay, as one such area around 33.61. We obviously have initial balance high that could serve as a resistance zone, and I'm gonna mark where VWAP is currently. Okay, right around this level as another area here around 34.46 as a potential area of resistance to continue maybe price advancement to the upside. So headed into the market, I'm heading into a market that is actually quite, I would say maybe even a bit oversold at this point, and potentially looking, for an opportunity that maybe could take me up to this resistance zone. Would not be out of the realm of possibilities here. That would kind of serve as kind of a little bit of a scalp trade, but I would say that until we start to break some structure here to the upside, that the path of least resistance in the gold market at the moment is lower. Good morning, George. Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and move into our crude oil market. So crude oil, we're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings. We're going to go ahead and start off with our daily chart. And again, similar to what we were seeing in the gold market, if we are looking at this market of late, well, the market seems to be in some sort of bearish trend. Now, as we move to the left and get some additional context here, okay, looks like we are reacting away, okay, from a prior area of where we found sellers, okay. So we are at this high here around 78, okay, and now we started to make a series of candles, two in particular, that maybe could potentially lead us lower here, okay. So daily chart started to get maybe some signs that we might be bearish, okay. Moving into the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance, even though the market just opened here about a minute ago And you can see again, right, just looking at these series of candles here, if I'm just going to focus on these series of candles, okay, well, these series of candles are telling me that the path of least resistance is lower. Okay. Now, as I move my chart to the right, I want to see if there's any additional evidence that would lead me to believe otherwise. Okay, so I understand that I am in bearish structure. Now the question is, how far can this move go? Well, we are coming into some areas. Okay, we are coming into some areas where that have been supportive in the past. Okay, this area in particular, 64, seems to be an area where we have seen some support in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that level as an area of potential support here, right? You can see that price left this area, not only tested this area once, twice. Now we're retesting it again for the third time. Okay, so the question becomes: is this area going to serve as a launching location for price to potentially reverse to the upside? Or is the market going to continue to sell off? Right now, we seem to be in an area of some indecision. Okay. Moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay. So you can see that we are in some sort of consolidation range after a bit of a sell-off in yesterday's session. Okay. We had a strong sell-off to the downside in yesterday's session. Could go ahead and open up my arrow here, right? We had a strong sell-off. And now during the overnight, we're kind of in this kind of consolidation range. Okay. We've kind of, I would say, that have begun to develop a little bit of an area of demand here. Okay. You can see that there is a little bit of an area of demand that has been developed of late. Okay. Price has had some issues or trouble getting below 65.50 of late. Okay. We came down to the 64.60 level, reacted away from it. Sellers stepped back in, and again, buyers stepped in again at this 64.70 level, and now we're at the upper end of that range. Now, are these the ingredients for maybe a potential move to the upside? Well, we'll have to see. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and locate our fixed range volume profile here for yesterday's session. Okay, we'll drag that across to the close of yesterday's session. And here we are. Okay, so you can see that price opened below value from yesterday's session. Okay, so there's a fair number of participants that are willing to pay a premium to be part of this market to the downside. Now, during overnight trading, after this sell-off, we've been in some sort of range, creating a little bit of a demand area around this 65.50 level. Okay. Now, if we do manage to close above, say, 67, well, we could come back and revisit some of these areas above us. I'm going to go ahead and mark this area as a level of resistance. That's our value area low from yesterday. Okay. So I'm trying to see. So there's really not, I don't see outside of this area here, right? I'm going to take a look here, see if it's broken any areas here. So we have an area here that seems to be resistance as well. So we're going to go ahead and mark this area right around 67. Okay, that also seems to be an area of some resistance. We've come to this area once, twice, and each time have been met with some sellers. Okay, so a couple of areas of resistance, support, I've already kind of identified here. This 64.70 up to 65 seems to be a supportive area. Okay, now if I go ahead and draw in my anchored VWAP here for London, okay, you can see that price really is in some sort of range here, right? You see that price has been above VWAP, below VWAP, above VWAP, below VWAP. Okay, well, this is indicating that we are in some sort of range price action. Okay, we're going to kind of identify this here, right? We're some sort of in some sort of range. We're not going to give it any sort of specific color, okay? But we are going to indicate that this is an area that is I guess a little bit of a choppy price area, okay? Unlike what we saw yesterday's session, okay? So headed into the session, headed into today's market, I would say that we need to be proceed with, I would say, with some caution, okay? Because price is a little bit in an area of indecision as to what direction they want to take the market next. I'm going to use my initial balance range, which I'm about to open here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this because it's kind of interfering with my ability to review this market. We have the initial balance range that's developing a bearish engulfing candle. We have a rejection candle away from this 65.50 level. Assuming that we can get price above VWAP and potentially above this 66.76 level, this could be a somewhat of a repair day. Maybe that takes us back up to as high as the value area low from yesterday. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. I would say right now, as we head into the market, I'm a bit neutral. Okay, really no direction at this point on where they want to take this market. So I'm going to be waiting for some additional evidence from the markets to indicate exactly which direction they want to take this market. All right. So I'll take a little drink here before we move on to the next market in the equities. Pause and see if there's any questions. Okay. Okay, I don't see anything in the way of questions, so we'll go ahead and move on to the equities. We'll start off with the NASDAQ. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove our drawings. We're going to go ahead and start looking at the daily. Okay, so the daily. So we were in this kind of consolidation range and continue to be in this consolidation range. We've talked about how we started to lose a little bit of momentum, maybe possibly in the upward move. Well, we seem to have picked up that momentum. Last couple of days have been quite strong in this market, right? And it's been met and supported by volume here, right? You can see here a good amount of volume came into this market here, right? Now we're in the beginning stages of our daily candles, and we're seeing signs that there is some additional momentum to the upside. Okay, so moving to get some additional context, right? So we continue to make some higher highs and higher lows. We're not seeing the kind of the candles that are vertical, right? We're seeing that we're getting participation on both sides of the market. But we are continuing to see higher highs and higher lows. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance here. Again, you can see that we're starting to break some structure here to the upside. Okay, so this price structure here, we're starting to break that right here. Okay. So we've broken above 22,200. We've already spoken in the past about the importance of 22,000. Okay, 22,000 was a level that we had identified in the past as an area of particular importance, and we're above that. So that I would say would be an area in the future that could potentially be supportive, okay, to price. We continue to see higher highs and higher lows, okay, in this market. And we see that price is above our VWAP. All indications, at least for now, appear to be bullish. Okay. Moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay. Looking at the 30-minute chart, you can see that we since the close of yesterday's session, okay, we've been in a steady climb in this market. During London, we've been a bit more neutral. Okay, no real direction during London as to where they want to take this market. but certainly during the New York session, as well as the overnight and into Asia, the market has rallied. Okay, we're going to go ahead now and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's value. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to drag that across to the close of yesterday's session. And you can see, okay, you can see that price is above yesterday's value range, indicating that we do have a fair number of buyers who are interested in paying a premium to participate in this potential upside move in this market. Okay. Initial balance is still a ways away. Market has not officially opened yet, but we do see that price is above our daily VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and open up our anchor VWAP for London. London was pretty much a neutral, rangy kind of price action. Okay, so you can see that during London, actually, we see that price is below. Okay, so we have like a little bit of a mixed bag. Okay, as far as indication as to direction. So daily VWAP is indicating that we could see higher prices. The anchor VWAP from London, we see that price is kind of respecting this VWAP here, right? So kind of serving as a little bit of resistance. Okay, so our new area, our new high here, I guess, is this. Let's call it 22,000. Let's call it 370 is our new high. Okay. If we are going to continue this bullish direction, we obviously need to get above 22,370. Looks like we have made at least one attempt to get higher. Okay, to move higher, and that has, at least for now, been received with some resistance. Okay, so you can see here that price has respected, right? You can see price has respected this level and has kind of moved away from this level. Okay, so as long as this level around say 22,000, let's say 340, 350 level, as long as price is unable to close this area, well, then that gives us maybe the indication that we could maybe see a little bit more in the way of a push lower in this market. In order to embrace that, I need to see price certainly hold below this anchor VWAP from London, but also begin to make some inroads in getting below the price here in the daily VWAP. Okay. So those are. So right now, I see that we are in some sort of bullish price action, where we are in a bit of range. So again, we'll need to wait for some additional information from the markets. I'm going to wait for my initial balance range, which are about 15 minutes away, actually an hour and 15 minutes away from establishing, and get a sense for which direction they want to take this market. Yesterday's session was quite bullish. Into Asia, London, not so much. Actually, I would say maybe neutral to somewhat bearish. So it stands to reason, or we need to be patient and wait for again some more information from the markets to tell us exactly which direction they plan to take this market going forward. Okay, all right. So with that said, we're going to go ahead now and move into the ES here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the daily chart. Okay, again, similar to what we were seeing in the NASDAQ. Okay, so I identified some levels from our discussion in the past. Okay, so we have the 6,200 level. Okay, it's actually more like 6170. Okay, that's a kind of a resistance area here to the top side. We've broken the level here at 6,100. Okay, that was another area. And then we had this 6050 level. And then ultimately, I think the 6,000 level that has served as resistance in the past. Okay. So daily chart is indicating that we are still in some sort of bullish price action in this market. We're seeing some higher highs and higher lows. We're breaking some structure to the upside, indicating that there is some health to this move to the upside. Okay. So, oops, didn't necessarily want to do that. Let's bring those back. Okay. So there's our resistance areas. We have our demand zones. We've reacted from a point of control here on the visible range. Okay. But right now, it seems that our momentum continues, or the path of least resistance continues to be higher. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, you can see that we continue to make some higher highs and higher lows. Okay, in this market, we've recently broken the 6,100 level. Okay, that area has now gone from resistant. Okay, I was just going to pull it 6,100, has gone from resistant to supportive. Okay, so this area now, assuming that we're going to maintain this structure to the upside, I would assume that this 6,100 level is going to be an area of potential support. Okay. If it doesn't, then I would say that we come back to potentially 6050. Okay. This is another area that's been broken to the upside. It's also the high end of our value range, visible value range. So that I would say would be another area of some potential support in this market. Okay. Area of resistance, we have the 6170 level and ultimately the 6200 level. I'm going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Okay, get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's session, and let's take a look at that. Let's move down to the 30-minute chart here for that. So you can see that London has been in some sort of range of late. Okay. Right, London really didn't take the market in any significant direction. Right, we've been in some sort of range of late. Let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Let's start with the start of yesterday's session. Drag that to the close of yesterday's session, and you can see that price. You can see that price is above value. Again, participants are willing to pay a premium to be a part of this market. We see that price is above our VWAP. VWAP is still sloping to the upside, but we are seeing maybe a little bit of loss of momentum, I guess, in that direction. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up our anchored VWAP just to get a sense for where London is in all of this. So we're going to locate London. There it is. We're going to move that candle by one, right about there. Okay. There it is. So much like the NASDAQ, we are kind of in between the anchor VWAP from London here, as well as the daily VWAP. Okay. So indicating there's maybe a little bit of interest here. Okay. We do see that we've created a little bit of a resistance area here around 61. I'm going to call it 61.32, 34. Okay. And possibly as high as 61.45. Okay, so there's a little bit of a resistance area that's been established here in this market. Okay, so we have some anchor VWAPs from prior. Okay, you can see that we're well above those. You can see that right now price is in the middle of our session ranges. Okay. So it'll be interesting again to see exactly what price does. Okay, as we open the New York session here. Okay, right now I would say we're getting a little bit of a mixed bag. Okay, New York obviously bullish, London not so much. Okay, London not so much. London was not able to make any sort of new highs. On the contrary, they've made some new lows. Okay. So if I am a buyer of this market, okay, well, obviously I have an area of demand here, okay, that I'm seeing. This area down below that we've already kind of reacted away from. So this area does appear to be an area of some support. So we're going to go ahead and mark that area in green. So this area here around 6,100, okay, seems to be a supportive area, okay. And then if we manage to get below that, well, we have the value area high, okay, value area high from yesterday's session. That could be supportive, Okay. This area right about here could be another supportive area in this market. Okay. So if I'm going to participate in this market to the upside, okay, well, I'd like to participate at a reference level where I know that there's been buyers in the past. So certainly 6100, if I'm able to get it, would be a nice level. Okay. We see that we have ASR low, and we've created some we created some price action in here to indicate that there are buyers in this area. Okay. So 6100 would be a nice supportive area to look for maybe potential long. Okay. We'll have to wait to see what the initial balance provides us, but that's kind of what I'm my current view of the S&P. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the Dow. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up our daily chart here. Okay, and take a look. Okay, so we had this consolidation pattern that we drew, triangle pattern. We've broken above it, okay, to the upside, and really honestly have not really turned back. We've broken some structure here to the upside. I had mentioned this 43,000 level as a area of importance. So this level now, okay, becomes an area of potential support. Okay, 43,000 is an area of support now going forward. If we do manage to hold it, then that could lead to maybe another leg higher in this market. Okay, so we're starting to see structure. We're starting to see momentum that leads us to believe that there's further upside in this market. Okay, moving down to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Again, you can see that we've broken this consolidation pattern, this descending wedge to the upside, broken above 43,000 that we talked about yesterday as being important to hold, or important to get above to continue this momentum to the upside. Okay. So we continue to, of late, break structure to the upside, indicating that there's still a fair amount of bullish momentum in this market. Moving down to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, again, similar to what we saw in the NASDAQ and the ES. Okay, you can see that, see if I can get this. You can see that during the New York session, we were quite bullish into Asia. Once we got to London, things slowed. Okay, and now it seems like we may be picking up some momentum again to the upside. Okay, in this market. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range, actually start off with our fixed range volume profile, get a sense for where the market is in comparison to yesterday's session. And I'm assuming that you probably know, but we'll confirm it. Okay, so you can see that price is above value. Okay, indicating that, again, folks are willing to pay a premium to be part of this market. So this area right here is going to be, again, another area of support, value area high here at around 42,900, 42,865. You're welcome, George. Okay. So we have a couple of supportive areas here to use as reference levels for future maybe trade executions to the upside. I'm going to be patient and wait for the initial balance range to establish in this market. I'm going to go ahead and add our anchored VWAP, but I suspect that's going to tell us the same information that we got from the NASDAQ and the S&P. We're seeing some price action to indicate that maybe we will be able to get above, and remain above the VWAP, as well as our anchored VWAP here to the upside. Okay. So again, similar to the other equity markets, I would say that I'm headed into the equity session bullish. Okay. I think there is a continued momentum to the upside across all the equity markets. I'm going to be patient and wait for some price reference levels where I can better manage my risk. Okay. So I will wait for this initial balance range to establish and then decide exactly which direction to take this market. We'll go through one final review here of the markets just to summarize kind of our position on all of these. Okay, so again, as the equities are rallying, the gold market is in this bearish structure and appears to continue to remain in this bearish structure. Okay, right. So headed into the session, I would say that the path of least resistance should remain bearish in the gold. Crude oil, I would say is bearish as well. Okay. If we do manage to get below 64, 68, that could lead to another leg lower. I'm trying to see exactly where that can take us. Certainly can take us down to 63. Okay. So crude oil is also bearish. And then I would say across all the equity markets, okay, it appears that we are in some sort of bullish price action. It will be interesting to see if we are able to maintain above the VWAPs, okay, for a continued move to the upside. Although I am seeing again that we are coming into some areas that, at least for now, seem to be somewhat resistant. So if I'm bullish, then I'm gonna be patient and wait for some better price locations to participate in those moves. Okay, we've already kind of identified this 22,250 level as an area, so we'll go ahead and mark that level in. Okay, this area right here does appear to be an area of some demand. And then we talked about this area down below here at value area high, also as an area of support. Okay, so that's kind of what I have for you guys today. Happy to entertain any questions. Otherwise, we'll close this session as we close most sessions. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent day in trading, guys, and we'll talk again soon.